The sun hadn't even risen when I woke up to the sound of gravel crunching outside my farmhouse. At first, half asleep, I thought it was just the wind or maybe a stray animal wandering near the porch. But then I heard voices. Loud ones. Aggressive ones. Voices that didn't belong on my property. I shot out of bed and moved quietly toward the window. The sky was still dark blue, the kind of dawn where you can barely see shapes. But I could definitely make out movement. Flashing lights, orange vests, clipboards. And then I saw her. Karen, standing proudly at the end of my driveway like she had summoned an army. In front of her were 3 trucks, not police, not construction, but the most feared thing in suburban America, HOA enforcement units. I didn't even know HOA trucks existed. Apparently, Karen did. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside, the cold air biting at my face. As soon as the screen door squeaked open, every single helmeted HOA enforcer turned toward me with the precision of a SWAT team. Karen lifted her megaphone, yes, a megaphone, and shrieked, "Property owner, you are in direct violation of Code 179B. Do not move." I raised an eyebrow. "Karen, it's 6 in the morning. That's when violators are easiest to catch," she snapped. 2 enforcers marched toward my barn. One approached my front porch. Another pulled out a tape measure and began measuring the length of my driveway as if it personally offended him. "What violation are you even talking about?" I asked, trying to stay calm. Karen pulled out a folder so thick it looked like it contained national secrets. "As per the new HOA bylaws, Section 179B prohibits..." She flipped through the pages dramatically. "Unauthorized vehicle storage, unauthorized livestock noise, unauthorized mailbox color, and..." She paused for effect. "Unauthorized early morning shadows." I stared. "Early morning shadows?" "Yes," she said with complete seriousness. "Your barn's shadow extends past the approved perimeter before 7 a.m. This violates property harmony guidelines." Before I could respond, one of the enforcers shouted, "Ma'am, found it!" Karen spun around eagerly. "Found what?" "The illegal structure." "It's a barn," I said. Karen gasped like she had just discovered a bomb. A barn, on HOA land." "It's my land," she smiled coldly. "Not anymore." I felt my jaw tighten. "Explain." "Well," she said, waving the megaphone, "last night at 11:58 p.m., the HOA voted to temporarily expand our jurisdiction outward by 1 mile in all directions. Your property now falls under our governance. You can't just expand your HOA like it's an empire." Karen smirked. "Empires start somewhere." Suddenly, the enforcers opened the barn doors and froze. Inside, illuminated by their flashlights, was something they didn't expect. My tractor, my big, very old, very dusty, but very functional tractor. Karen screamed, "Illegal vehicle! Illegal vehicle!" "It's a tractor," I repeated, losing patience. "Tractors are classified as heavy machinery and require an HOA-approved machinery permit." "You made that up," she snapped her fingers. "Check Appendix 44. One of the enforcers flipped through a binder, nodded, and saluted her. Unbelievable. 2 more enforcers started placing bright yellow HOA seizure stickers on everything they could reach. The tractor, the barn walls, even my rooster's coop. My rooster, offended by the intrusion, crowed loudly. Karen covered her ears. "Noise violation! Noise violation!" "He's a rooster," I said. "Well, he needs to quiet down or face consequences." "He's a rooster," I repeated. Karen pulled out a tiny notebook. "I'll add him to the warning list." I took a deep breath. "Karen, what do you actually want?" She stepped closer, lowering the megaphone, speaking in a whisper so full of malice it sent a chill down my spine. "I want order, I want control, and I want your property to follow every single rule in the HOA handbook, all 628 pages." I blinked. Wasn't it 400 pages yesterday? We added more. Of course they did. While she was gloating, one of the enforcers ran up to her, panicked. Ma'am, you need to see this. Karen marched toward the back of the barn. I followed, preparing myself for whatever ridiculous thing they'd call a violation next. Then I saw it. The enforcers had uncovered something hidden behind a tarp. Something I had forgotten I stored there weeks ago. Karen gasped so loudly she nearly fell over. It was a stack of wooden planks, just planks. But apparently that was enough to trigger DEFCON 1 in Karen's HOA brain. Unapproved construction material, she screamed. That's a Category 5 violation. A plank is a violation now? I asked. Wood is a violation, she corrected. Especially wood that looks like it might someday be used to build a structure that could potentially be higher than the community skyline standards allow. It's a farm, I said. Everything here is wood. Not if I can help it, she muttered. Then she gave the order. Enforcers, begin demolition protocol. I nearly choked. Demo what? 3 enforcers revved up battery-powered saws on my property, on my barn, at 6 in the morning. I stepped in front of them. Nobody is demolishing anything. Karen marched right up to my face. You are obstructing HOA workers. That's a violation too. No, that's self-defense. Karen raised her megaphone. Final warning. And then something unexpected happened. A loud engine roared down the road. Bright headlights cut through the early dawn. The enforcers turned in confusion. A pickup truck slid to a stop in front of my driveway. My neighbor, Old Man Jefferson, stepped out. A legend around these parts. Grumpy, fearless, and allergic to HOA nonsense. He narrowed his eyes at Karen. What's all this racket? Karen lifted her chin. This property is under HOA enforcement. Jefferson spat tobacco juice on the ground. The hell it is. HOA line ends a mile back. Not anymore, Karen said proudly. We expanded it. You can't expand past county land, Jefferson said. I checked the map yesterday. Karen froze. What map? She asked suspiciously. The real one, Jefferson said, holding up a folded county boundary map. Karen snatched it, unfolded it, and stared, her face draining of color. My property was clearly outside the HOA boundary, still, legally, completely. Jefferson smirked. Seems like you invaded private land. The enforcers looked at each other nervously. Karen's face twisted in rage. This isn't over, she whispered to me. I will find a way to bring this property under HOA control. She motioned to her enforcers. Fall back, retreat. Like defeated soldiers, they scrambled to their trucks, slamming doors and speeding away in a cloud of dust. Karen was the last to leave. She pointed at me through the window. This is war. And then she was gone. The sunrise finally crept over the hills, lighting up the mess left behind. Stickers, tape, scattered papers. My farm looked like it had survived an absurd, bureaucratic battle. Jefferson shook his head. That woman's crazy. Crazy enough, I said, that this war is far from over. He nodded. Better get ready. She'll be back. I stared down the quiet road, knowing he was right. Karen wasn't done, not even close.